PoliteEnquiries, Jarrod, Kimber, Howard, George, Dobell, Adelaide. Super Shuka. Tasman says, quite simply, what the?
Well, I don't have any answers. England were very bad and Australia were very good.
But it's shocking. No, what you said is better.
5,000 words I've written on this test.
John Philby says,
Oh, hello, John.
do you consider that it might be a good idea to keep the game going for as long as possible, or am I just stupid?
Yeah, no, you're not stupid. Today,
That is the idea of a draw.
England were awful. I mean, they got some cheap runs. Cheap runs. What they should have done, bearing in mind there was bad weather around, it didn't come as it happens, but they didn't know that. It rained a lot this morning. They should have tried to play out time, and they should have tried to wear out the bowlers, bearing in mind there's a test about 3 days down the road. They didn't. They played shots. It was a sort of macho posturing nonsense.
We're not cowards, but we are out consistently. Adam Twitty says, were England batsmen sucked into believing the boring tag?
Yes.
No.
I think they were. I think that
the
propaganda war that's been going on all English summer and into now has actually worked, and that's so disappointing because it's so obviously rubbish.
Basically, we're batting the way they were because of Piers Morgan, which you should give up cricket. If you do.
I don't know about that.
Niran Gunam says, do you think Mitchell Johnson can keep going in a 5-test series given the physical impact of each delivery? It's like watching Nadal. He's pretty fit. He looks as fit as I've ever seen him. He does get injured occasionally, but realistically, Brian Harris has more chance of passing away than Mitchell Johnson is of actually being injured, I think, right at the moment. Jeremy B says, can England's batsmen play any other shot other than the hook to the fielder at fine leg? And Kishan Julka says, will all this hooking practice benefit England as we go on to Perth? I like that, because he's sort of mocking them, but also, looking ahead.
Of course they can. They can steer to slip and they can hit full tosses to mid-on.
They can do it all. 4
people in the second innings when you're trying to save a test were out to the hook. Okay, that's just not good enough, is it? I don't think any of the 10 wickets fell to deliveries that would have hit the stumps. Even the one that did hit the stumps, yeah?
Jack Mendel says, why aren't Boyd Rankin and or Tim Brisbane being picked?
Well, I think that one or other will definitely...
There was no point picking Boyd Rankin for this test. No one needs to play their first test at Adelaide. They had no idea what the wicket was going to go on. They thought Monty would help. He hasn't probably helped. Brisbane, they weren't quite sure that he was ready yet.
There's a case for not playing a spinner at Perth. I would still pick Swan.
There's been 5 wicket hauls by spinners at Perth.
One by Monty, actually.
One by Monty, and only 2 have ever come to off spinners, both the same man. Is Graham Swan the new Bruce Yardley? Think about it. Lyndon Joseph said, should England play Tim Brisbane instead of Monty at Perth? Does Stokes retain his place? I suppose that we've sort of answered the whole Brisbane thing, but what about Stokes?
Well, I don't think it makes a lot of difference to you. Do you think that's a magic solution? Is it a silver bullet?
No, I don't think there's any changes you can make to England that is a silver bullet.
They've just got to play better.
Dean Bain says, did Pryor do enough to keep his spot? Yes. James Nathan, wow, 2-0 to Australia. Sounds like England will need to draw in Perth to win the last 2. Is that the plan now? I mean, I don't think you can plan to draw a test.
Okay, so England have played 12 times in Perth, I think, top of my head. I think they've won once, which was, I think, in the 78-79 series when the Australian best side was off playing World Series.
Australia played in kindergarten.
And I think England have lost the last 6 going back to 1991. If that turns out to be accurate, maybe a bit of a geek, actually.
And also, what you're saying is there's not a lot of draws. There's not a lot of draws in Perth since they fixed the
statistics are not dour.
Magic Darts says, should the ECB invest in a program to clone Ian Bell so he can fill the entire England top 7? Don't be ridiculous, he shouldn't open.
I've just spoken to him, funnily enough.
And he said, I'd like to be cloned.
And he was really calm and confident still, and he's the only one that I had seen who is. So yes, they should clone him, definitely.
Raph Nicholson says, on a scale of 1 to 10, how smug is Jarrod right now?
You're not a smug person.
I'm not really. I'd be more smug if this was Victoria smashing New South Wales. Nordic Mosquito says, how do you pickle herring? We'll see you in Perth.